Hello, Arkansas fans. Arkansas's basketball inconsistency was evident in their loss to Georgia. And now, how can Cal and the team improve this? Before the news, subscribe to the channel to receive more news about the Hogs. The loss to Georgia once again highlighted Arkansas's biggest basketball dilemma this season: inconsistency. This isn't a hasty assessment based solely on the score or a single bad performance, but a recurring pattern throughout the season that challenges John Calipari to accelerate a process that, by its nature, requires time, adjustments, and collective maturity. Even so, the game also offered clear signs of where the paths to improvement lie, and that's precisely where the news takes on a more positive aspect for the future of the Razorbacks. Arkansas showed, at different points in the game, that it has enough talent to compete at a high level within the SEC. The problem is the inability to sustain that level for 40 minutes. The team alternated good offensive sequences with periods of complete disconnection, especially in decision-making and defensive execution. There were rushed possessions, difficulty containing the ball on the perimeter, and lapses in concentration that allowed Georgia to control the pace of the game in crucial moments. This pattern is not new, but it becomes more evident in away games or against physically organized opponents. With Calipari, however, the interpretation of this scenario is less about alarmism and more about understanding the stage the project is at. Calipari took over a remodeled roster with young players, distinct profiles, and little history of playing together. Inconsistency in this context is not just a flaw, but a natural symptom of a team that is still learning to play together, to recognize its own limits, and to understand where it can be most efficient. The challenge lies in transforming these fluctuations into practical learning, something that has always been a hallmark of teams coached by Cal. The game against Georgia highlighted specific points that can serve as a basis for immediate adjustments. Transition defense, for example, remains a crucial aspect. When Arkansas manages to organize quickly after the offense, the team's physical and athletic impact becomes apparent. When this doesn't happen, the opponent finds easy openings and gains confidence. From an offensive standpoint, the team showed that it needs more patience in building plays, especially when the pace of the game slows down. Forcing shots early on the clock has been costly and has broken any attempt at consistency. It is in this scenario that Calipari's presence becomes significant. His experience in managing young rosters and accelerating learning curves during the season is a valuable asset for Arkansas. Historically, his teams are not defined in January, but shaped along the way, with visible growth as players assimilate responsibilities, better understand their roles, and begin to trust each other more. The loss to Georgia, while frustrating, provides concrete material for this correction process. More than correcting specific errors, the moment calls for a clearer identity. When Arkansas knows exactly how it wants to win, whether by imposing its physicality, controlling the pace, or exploiting specific advantages, performance improves. Inconsistency appears precisely when this identity is diluted within the game. Calipari's mission now is to simplify, adjust, and repeat, creating habits that withstand the pressure and natural variations of SEC games. Despite the setback, the scenario is not one of rupture, but of construction. Arkansas still has room to grow, adjust rotations, and find more stable combinations. The loss to Georgia serves as a warning, but also as a clear reference to what needs to be corrected. In a conference where consistency often separates good teams from competitive ones, recognizing this problem early can, paradoxically, be an important step in the right direction. The expectation is not for immediate and superficial solutions, but for gradual evolution, supported by game reading, individual development, and collective strengthening. The inconsistency was exposed, yes, but it also became clear that Arkansas has the tools, leadership, and technical direction to transform this obstacle into fuel for change. Comment.